Kyle Lowry leaving the Toronto Raptors was one of the biggest stories this offseason. After solidifying his mark of being the greatest Raptors player of all time, he had decided to part ways with the team since they are currently in a rebuilding mode and he still has some gas left in the tank. This is something that most Raptors fans understood, as he is nearing the end of his career and he laid everything he had on the court for the Raptors to bring us our very first NBA championship and is now in a position to contend for another title. Kyle Lowry, as you know, was acquired in a sign and trade by the Miami Heat and honestly helped out the Raptors tremendously even as he departed the team. As I mentioned in my previous video, how big of an acquisition Precious Achiuwa was for the Toronto Raptors from the Miami Heat, but if you want to know why, you're gonna have to watch it for yourself by clicking on the video. And in this video, I will be going over exactly how Kyle Lowry is going to fit with the Miami Heat and how he will solidify their contention for a championship. But before we continue this video, I just wanted to say that I once again appreciated all of the support and love that I got from the last couple of videos, and if you do like this video and the Raptors content in general that I've been putting out, please hit that like and subscribe button as it means more than you think. I am a newer channel on YouTube, but because of all the support I've received over the past week, I have been growing very quickly and just wanted to say thank you all again for everything. Now, back to the Toronto legend in Kyle Lowry. I personally think the Heat adding a player like Lowry is a fantastic move for the Miami Heat, and this is now a team that is flooded with all-star talent that can truly do something special. If it weren't for the Brooklyn Nets, I would honestly think this team on paper would be the best team in the Eastern Conference. The first thing that I'm going to mention about Lowry is that he's going to be bringing that championship level mindset that is so vital for a roster that lacks the experience of winning a title. You can have all the talent in the world, however, there are only a few guys that know how to come into work every single day with the right attitude and mindset, where the only thing on their mind is a championship ring. We all know the win at all costs attitude that Jimmy Butler brings to the table that was put on full display during the NBA bubble in 2020 that showed us his magical finals run that was inevitably cut short by LeBron. Kyle Lowry possesses this exact same attitude, and him and Jimmy can truly create a special atmosphere in the locker room for the rest of the team. Now, the next thing that Kyle brings to the table is his playmaking ability that the Miami Heat were lacking tremendously over the past couple of years. The Heat only had 2 active point guards on their team last year and the year prior, one of them being Goran Dragic, who started a combined 14 games over the past 2 seasons and averaged just 5 assists in one year and 4 assists in the other. The other player was the undrafted young free agent in Kendrick Nunn, and yes, Nunn did have a fantastic rookie season and followed it up with another good one. The problem was that he was only able to average around 3 assists per game in those 2 seasons. The majority of the playmaking was then left for the team's 2 best players in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, with Jimmy averaging 7.1 assists last year and Bam with 5.4. Obviously, most teams' best players do sometimes end up being the main playmakers for their teams, as they do have the ball for the majority of the game. However, adding Kyle Lowry to this mix will slowly take the pressure off both of these stars to try and set up their teammates and allow themselves to focus on their own games more often. Kyle Lowry will not only take the pressure off of the other stars, but his exceptional playmaking ability and selfless leadership on the court will only improve the games of every Heat player each and every night. On top of all of this, Kyle has a very polished ball handling ability that will allow him to control the offense and slow the game down when needed, which is such an underrated trait from experienced guards. And this is also something that I felt was lacking on this Heat team in prior years. Lowry can also shoot the ball pretty well, which complements his playmaking and leadership abilities well. We actually saw him come off one of his best 3-point shooting seasons as he shot 39.6% from 3, as well as shooting 87.5% from the free throw line. During his time with the Raptors, I personally felt like Kyle Lowry played his best and most efficient basketball in 2019. This was, of course, the year the Raptors won the 2019 NBA championship, and he played his best basketball this year in particular because he was never asked to carry the load on offense, and instead he was asked to be the leader on this this team and do all the little things that make Kyle Lowry so special. In this system, Kyle more often than not was able to settle for more open jump shots rather than forcing contested shots from the perimeter when his team needed a bucket. Since the scoring was mostly handled by guys like Kawhi and Siakam, it looked as if Kyle Lowry was free on offense, which allowed him to truly be the playmaker and leader for this team, and also allowed him to save more of his energy for playing defense. The Miami Heat currently have a roster that is arguably of the caliber that the Toronto Raptors had in 2019, and this of course means that I honestly expect a very strong season from the 35-year-old, as he is not going to be asked to be a scorer on this team, but instead a championship experienced leader. Lastly, when you get a player like Kyle Lowry, who I think is the most underrated player in the NBA, you are getting a guy that is going to literally give you his 200% each and every night, a guy who is an absolute dog on the defensive side of the ball, who will pair up with Oladipo and Jimmy Butler perfectly, as they all share the same characteristic, a man who does every little thing on the court that doesn't show up on the stat sheets with perfection, and I think most importantly out of all the Kyle Lowry traits, a guy who is willing to sacrifice his life in order to get a win. And what I mean by this is him leading the league in charges on multiple occasions while only being a 6-foot guard. Miami, you have truly got a good one in Kyle Lowry, and honestly one of the best personalities in the NBA. We've seen it for many years as a Toronto Raptor, and he will definitely be a massive fan favorite during the 3 years he spends with the team. Now, as this video begins to wind down, let me know how you think Kyle Lowry will fit in with the Miami Heat, and if you think he can take them to the next level to maybe win an NBA championship. Thank you all for watching, and again, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, as any support that I receive is appreciated tremendously. Thank you all, and have a nice night.